Well, good morning. November the 21st, Saturday. And I've been thinking about making a video for the last 3 or 4 days. So many things running around in my head. But here on YouTube, which is run by a Jew, so I can say that, right? But you cannot talk about who owns all the media in Hollywood. That I know, I can't do that. And I also cannot, for God's sake, talk about or show a 5-second clip of a missile hitting the Pentagon that came from the official security camera of the Pentagon. That's a no-no. That goes against the terms and service here on YouTube. I wonder how this all came about. I lived what I thought was a normal life. I done some things I wasn't happy about. I wasn't around when my older kids were growing up due to a bad divorce, which it took two. I take responsibility too. But one thing I can honestly say, anytime I've ever been with a woman, I might have lusted in my heart, but I never did do the act. But now I know what the Bible says. You've already committed adultery if you lust in your heart. So I'm a sinner. We all are. We've all told little white lies. But now we live in a world of lies, nothing but lies, from the father of the lie. John 8:44. The God of this world, the little g. I had no knowledge whatsoever of any secret societies throughout 60 plus years of my life. Now it's everywhere. They're coming out as good. Woe unto those who call good evil and evil good. Put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. They've slowly taken over all the governments. World War II you can't speak of in some European countries. Why is that? Could it be because of the founding of a nation? Supposedly the only democracy in the Middle East? Is that why we had World War II? Is that why you can't speak of it? Revelations 2:9 and 3:9 says what everybody needs to know. Not all of them, but the nation. Just like the nation of Babylon, the USA. These secret societies have come generational and kept it in their bloodlines. Now they've infiltrated all the higher up in the governments. Your Fraternal Order of Police here in the U.S. has the inverted star, the pentagram. Probably, yeah, if you look at all signatures of the police force all across this earth and the militaries. They have been recruited from these secret societies, which are taught to lie to you. And why isn't anybody talking about the $8 trillion that Donald Trump signed in stimulus packages that, well, 8 trillion plus. Look at all the zeros in a trillion. Give a measly, possibly, 300 million to the U.S. people. Where's that 8 trillion? Wouldn't you think that it would be an incentive to hospitals to get paid off for calling something that it is not? For your news media, which all these come from these secret societies. They infiltrated every walk of life. $8 trillion should pay off a lot of people. And what have they been promised? That shot might not contain the same thing as everybody else's shot? But the God of this world has deceived the minds even of his followers. He hates you. He hates all human beings. Are some of these up in the higher ranks? Are they even human? Because the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We've been infiltrated worldwide. This is a demonic spiritual war. It is a takeover of the human race. And they hate the true Son of God. S-O-N, Son of God. But they love the S-U-N of God. The bright morning star, as they call it. The sun that gets rebirth. That around December the 23rd or so is when it starts overtaking darkness. So that's a pagan holiday. People worship the birth of Christ. Now they're worshiping the birth of the Son God. We have been deceived and lied to all of our lives. And God said in the latter days he would pour out his Spirit upon all flesh. But most are seeking those having itching ears to be told what they want to hear. And will send such a strong delusion because they had not the truth in them that they would believe the lie. And this is the biggest. Well, no, it's not. In my opinion, it is not. The biggest lie is the shape of the earth, which anybody with any common sense and take one day and research and think about all the bullshit NASA has put out and the governments have put out, would have to at least stop and think, maybe I am being lied to here. Because there is no proof that they ever constructed a space station. There is no proof that man has ever walked on the moon. There are no... Why didn't they leave a camera there? Or send a camera up with all these trillions of dollars they spend on space and show the Earth 24/7? Because they can't. Daytime, when it's in the daytime sky and there's no clouds, you can see through it. It is not a solid object. And light cannot travel in 93 million miles of utter darkness and change back to light. According to the size that they give us, the size of the sun, opposed to the size of the earth, it wouldn't even be but a grain of sand coming from that far. So how can it be 50 degrees in one spot and 100 degrees 500 miles away? People don't stop and think about common sense. They lack it. They're under the spell. They are being brainwashed. It's 24/7. This thing that's going to kill the world unless you get that thing shoved in your arm. From these psychopaths that want to control the world. From all these secret fucking societies. Yes, I said a bad word. But who gives a fuck? The world is being taken over by evil. And these dumb son of a bitches will not open their eyes and even listen to anybody trying to wake them up. Do I want them dead like some people? No. It ain't their fault. They are being bombarded 24/7. Their subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between fact and fiction. Like Captain Kirk said, what's the difference between reality and science fiction? He said there is no difference. They are being bombarded by these secret societies that God only knows what they've been promised. They have infiltrated all of your major corporations, all of the governments, all the police force, all the militaries, all your medical institutions. They are either doing it for the money or they are part of it and been promised something. This is such a scam, but not as big as the shape of the earth. Because if people realized that, they would have never fallen for this shit. Wake the hell up down the road.